Monsignor Krische, thank you for coming to Hayden to celebrate Mass today.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's great to be here.
Monsignor, what year did you graduate from Hayden?
I graduated in 1956 when we were at the high school downtown across from the Capitol.
And how did that help you prepare for the priesthood?
My time at Hayden was a wonderful time, and when all the time, we were always reminded of searching for God's will for our life. What does God call us to do? And if we would do what God wanted us to do, we would have a happy life and a good life. And if we took our own direction, we didn't know where we would end up. So I was always prayed for that. And then Hayden played a really big part of it, because in our senior year, we had a retreat master, and he was from St. Louis, and his name was Father Dismas. And that wasn't his real name, but that was his name given to him because he worked with prisoners at the penitentiary in St. Louis, and he was so good. And at that time, the boys had him, and then the girls had someone else. So the boys and girls were separated, and he talked to us pretty down to earth kind of talk, and he talked to us like the prisoners, and how many of the prisoners he got to return to the church, and how many who were not even Catholic became Catholic, and you could see that he was a guy that loved his work, even though it was draining him all the time, but he loved what he was doing. He was a great inspiration. And then my teachers in high school at Hayden, we had priests who taught our religion classes, and then the school was full of sisters, we probably 90% of the sisters teaching us as well. So that whole environment had a great influence on us, on me.
Monsignor Krische, during your homily, you talked about decision making. What do you mean by choose life versus choose death?
Well, it depends upon what we want. When we want the good things, when we want life to be good, we want to be healthy, we want to be strong, we want to be happy, then we choose the way that God has designed us to choose. And when we choose His way, it always works. Not easy, it's always harder. But I like that because he expects good things of us. He doesn't expect us to be, lazy or indifferent. He expects greatness of us, and that's one of the things that always inspired me. So I think that when you choose life, then you choose all the things that go with life, and that is a good life. You don't want to just choose life, except you want to choose a good life, and that's to make the right decisions. Now the opposite is true, and God lets us do whatever we want to do. If we choose not to follow Him, but to follow our own ways, we get the results of that. And you know what? I've been a priest for 47 years, and I have seen so many times the results of people who followed their own way. And it's never a happy situation. It's always difficult.
So, Monsignor, what advice do you have about decision making?
Well, I would think, first of all, that we have to come always to know ourselves, but to know ourselves really as a Catholic, as a person of God, as an adopted child of God, to know that in our life, God changed us in our baptism. So once I know who I am, and according to God's plan, then I allow Him to lead me. Now, this is difficult to do, because see, what I always want to do is I want to be in control. I want to be in the driver's seat. And He said, get out of there, you sit in the back. I got to be in control, because see, God has the bigger picture. He has the picture of my life. He has the picture of everyone's life, and He can lead it all. And if He could design a human being like us, He can lead us. And I believe that in terms of making good decisions. Thank you, Patrick. And